Close your eyes and imagine a world where tranquility and wellness are just a breath away. Welcome to our sanctuary of relaxation and rejuvenation. Unlock a deeper connection with our community through our Patreon. Gain exclusive access to behind-the-scenes content, bikini hauls, and Patreon-exclusive massage videos. Together, we'll take your practice to new heights. Join our Patreon or download our app to embark on a path of tranquility and self-discovery. Your journey awaits. Namaste.
Hello, welcome. Today I'm going to be doing an upper back massage and I'm going to be working on Lauren. Let's go ahead and get started. So usually when I'm doing upper back work, I'll typically kind of check in with the hips as well. But I'm gonna start with a nice pincer grasp, some really simple dry work, kind of get these upper traps, hopefully letting go a little bit. So I'm just gonna go ahead and grab hold and so generally when you're wanting to work on this upper trap, if you're squeezing and working towards the hairline, you're on the upper trap, but if you're sinking in, you're working more on the levator. And really just focusing on the belly of that muscle. Just sinking my fingers in. I've worked on Lauren many times, so I know I can start with heavier pressure. And I'm going all the way down just before I start pinching the skin. You definitely don't want to pinch the skin. It doesn't feel very good. I'm just doing this a few times. I was just thinking one technique that is super underrated and underused is tapotement. Just tapping, with intention is one of the best things you can do for better circulation. So I'm gonna go ahead and use that as part of my warm-up today. Tapotement is great for the upper back. You have a lot of more exposed muscles. You don't have to think too much about it. It's also a nice way if your focus is on a deeper muscle, you can kind of get things moving in a way that you just don't have to work with as much detail as you otherwise would. Go ahead and just start getting some movement in these upper traps, middle and lower traps. Focusing on this area around the scapula. And again, this is one of the best techniques for improving circulation. And I'm gonna go in with just some compressive work, and this kind of gives me a chance to get a better sense of what's going on from right to left, working my way around the scapula. And I'm going to focus a little bit more on these rhomboids today as well. I realized that I've kind of gotten out of the habit of working on these rhomboids as much as might be helpful. The reason for that is I feel like the rhomboids are very much like a follower, whereas the upper traps are the leader. So if I can convince the upper traps to kind of let go, the rhomboids usually follow, but it can feel really nice It'd be helpful to have them worked on too. I have gone through phases where I've done deep tissue with my elbows at the front side of the table, but it feels a little too aggressive to me. Kind of felt that way for a couple of years. I just like to use a little more finesse when I am working on the upper traps. And I'm going to work on top of the scapula a little bit, just sinking into the infraspinatus. And I'm going to grab my oil and get started with the bulk of our session today. So just taking, 2 to 5 minutes to really tune in can make the whole massage just go more smoothly. I never like to go in blindly. So I really try to be pretty methodical in how I approach massage. I found when I'm getting upper back work done, it's just not nearly as satisfying if that effleurage stroke stops short of the neck. It just doesn't feel nearly as good. I do like to include the lats. It makes that effleurage stroke feel even better. And I'm just gradually kind of starting to tune in a little bit more. And feeling these different muscles just respond really well as I take my time. And if you can get the more superficial muscles to respond well, you're going to get the deeper muscles to respond even quicker. And even when I do more detailed work in the upper back, I do like to include at least a few passes into the hips along the spine. At this point, the lats are really starting to respond. I'm gonna go ahead and just start working on this right side. Working on the lower, middle, and upper trap. And just pivoting from that lat work into the traps. Starting to work deeper at this point. I would do a sort of, when I was doing more clinical massage, I would do kind of a more rolfing technique where I would just more aggressively work my way through that muscle tissue. But like I said, just using a little bit more finesse just feels better to me. It feels less invasive and more helpful. That doesn't mean that I'm not doing deep tissue. I absolutely am, but just working a little bit slower and doing more trigger point work, more compressive work. Really starting to sink into these trigger points that I find. And I'm definitely not just, sinking my elbow in. I'm including some movement in my trigger point work. I like to just work on that soft tissue, kind of giving Lauren a little break. Can feel a little intense. Another nice break is just to work on those rhomboids a little bit. And I find that these rhomboids are pretty dang responsive without having to go super deep usually. And finally, I'm going to go ahead and work my way into these lats on the left side. And starting my work on, it's deeper work on the left side. So moving from that lat work to these traps. And I will guarantee that if you're just using your arm or trying to do this technique in that way, you're gonna get tired really fast. So I'm actually pivoting from foot to foot as I work. You can't see that, but just keep that in mind. So really using your whole body. And that arm is just an extension of your core, your whole body. It's also going to help a lot with flow if you're using your whole body. So if your massage starts to feel a little bit choppy, might be a sign that you're need to relax a little bit, kind of sink into your feet. The great thing about taking your time with the traps is that they kind of forget to grip. So doing a proper warm-up and just repetition can be really helpful when working on especially the upper traps. And just doing these this compressive trigger point work. forgetting about those rhomboids. And before I forget, I'd like to thank a few of our patrons. I'd like to thank Samir S., Beth Miller, and Lori K. Thank you all so much for your support. And I like to just do a nice broad effleurage stroke to end in a way that feels unhurried, relaxing. And don't forget about bringing that effleurage stroke along the upper traps into the neck. It's like the cherry on top after you do that deeper work in the upper back. And that is all for today. I hope that you enjoyed today's video, and I look forward to seeing you next time.
Join us for 14 and 30-day programs, hour-long classes, and much more on our yoga app, Yoga Plus by Psyche Truth. It's free to download and features a variety of wellness content, including yoga, fitness, Pilates, guided meditations, and interviews with dozens of wellness experts.